You're listening to
They're going to call it a hard foul. They're going to call it a hard foul.
All right. Well, Mike, we could have done one of two things. We could have just replayed the last podcast and just like dubbed over game one and said game two. But just an abject disaster. Another 20-point lead blown, a 16-point lead in the fourth quarter blown, 1 point loss at home, and they're down 0-2 to a team that they're inferior to an inferior team. And this is more about the Celtics than the Knicks. With it, we are Hard Foul, brought to you by the what?
Fan First Sport Network.
Mike, go wherever you want. You can start with the meltdowns. You can start with the shooting. It doesn't really matter. Like at this point, I guess the only thing I'll say is I think the biggest culprit last night was Jason Tatum. You need your stars to step up, and he absolutely did not.
He's been the biggest one in the series. He was 0 for 11 with 6 points in the fourth quarter for the series until that dunk last night. That's how bad he's been.
Wow.
Yeah. He's been terrible. The coaching's been bad. Jim, that following the Knicks in the fourth quarter to get them into the penalty, and then
I still don't understand that.
Tibbs just waited Joe out, saw what was happening, knew exactly what he was going to do. They didn't get a shot off basically again to end the game, 2 games in a row. No timeout. I'm stunned. I mean, you're down by 1 point. Your team went 13 straight possessions without making a basket. And you thought, oh, yeah, I can trust them with 12 seconds here on the second straight game when we've blown a 20-point lead in the second half to make the right decision. And not only that, we're going to run the exact same play we just ran out of the timeout.
I know. That's the part that like baffles me.
The whole thing baffles me.
With no even like variation to the play.
And then he double downs on it. Like, oh.
But you know what? So he screwed that up. Like he didn't put his team in the best position to win, and he deserves to be criticized for these 2 games. But they went 7 minutes without scoring a field goal.
Well, they went 8.5 minutes.
8.5 minutes? Is that how long? No,
you're right. It was 7 minutes.
They started when we were texting in the third quarter, can they punch back? And they started the fourth quarter great, and I thought the game was in hand. They went up 16. They would making effort plays and getting second shots and extending the lead. The Knicks would throw a punch, and they throw one right back. Then they sub Tatum out.
And they sat him.
They sat him for a good 3-4 minutes.
Way too long.
It just went sideways. And look, there was they missed a lot of good shots for sure. But how tight are these guys right now? It's very bizarre.
Mentally fragile, man.
Yeah, compared to the Knicks. When any of the Knicks get an open shot in the fourth, and you're going to get open shots, like it's the NBA. Whenever they're making them.
Yeah.
And the Celtics aren't close. I like that Tatum missed 3 in the corner. That's the ball game.
Oh, you mean the one where Al's wide open under the hoop?
It wasn't as open as people think. So there was a Knick player within distance. It was, I don't know. I could go either way there. Either way, they got to score. That's a shot. He's a superstar. That's a shot he has to make there. There is no one around him. No one around him.
Yeah, they're mentally fragile, Jim. I mean, that they're up 20. They're going on that fast break. Brown misses the pass. He drops the pass.
Yeah.
After that, it was 36-15. The run the Knicks went on. There was no stopping the run.
So what are you talking
even to end that?
What possession is that?
That was in the third quarter.
Yeah, see, I even look at the third. It was fine. In the beginning of the fourth, it was just.
I don't though. The end of the third quarter, you ended with 4 misses in 4 turnovers. That's how you ended the third quarter. They can't close teams out. They just can't.
Yeah, but they were still up 12, and then they extended it to 16. it was a collapse in the fourth. Like those things kind of happen over the course of the game. So do you respond? And they responded within the first few minutes of the fourth, and then they just collapsed. They just
Yeah, but
collapsed.
you
You
saw
know,
it even though they extended. Even when they went up 16 in the fourth, I didn't feel good because, like, you saw it. They weren't right. They had 73 points going into the fourth quarter.
I thought the way they started the fourth, they were good. Like I thought they were making, they still weren't shooting well, but they were making extra effort plays. They were getting second and third shots. They were responding to whatever the Knicks did, and then it just stopped. Like all they had to do was make two more fucking baskets, or
Yeah,
even
that's it.
one, and it's just it's hard to believe that a team with this much experience and this much winning could just dissolve like this.
Yeah.
And you can point to a lot of things. Al gave them nothing last night, but he's his age. You're not going to get
I'm
every
not
play
blaming
game
Al.
isn't
I'm
going to be good.
blaming Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown for where they are right now.
More on Jason Tatum.
Yeah, I
Much
mean,
more on Jason Tatum.
yeah, but those are your two superstars, and yeah, Tatum has been really, really bad, really, really bad, and you have to start questioning like why is his postseason shooting this bad year after year? It feels like
Well,
where
it's
he
just been the
can't.
last 2 years.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
and it's really it's mind-boggling how like ugly his shot is. And it wasn't just his outside shot; he wasn't finishing at the rim.
No, and what's so weird about it is like he was coming off a series where he was amazing against better defense. Like
Yeah,
this makes no sense. Like this
we
makes
say
no
that, but
sense.
maybe we're just being disrespectful to the Knicks.
No, we're not.
Yeah, well,
Mike, you see it. Did you when they're going down and they're like? Do you feel like the Knicks are causing them to do anything that they don't really want to do, except for when they get tight in the fourth? Like throughout the game, they just got shot after shot. They shot 25% and
yeah.
under 30% for the game. Like they were missing at the rim, they were missing threes, they were missing wide open threes again.
But the Knicks, when the Celtics are going to the basket, the Knicks are taking it away, and Mitchell Robinson's making an impact.
Mitchell Robinson's making an impact.
And
Sure.
so aren't OG and Bridges against our wings when we drive to the hoop. Those are contested shots. And the
Not all of them.
Celtics, if you look at that fourth quarter, those 13 straight misses, there were a lot of contested looks, and the
There
Knicks
was
were
a
playing good
lot of
defense.
open misses, Mike. There was a lot of open misses in that run. There was.
I'm just done not giving credit to other teams and talking about how good the Celtics are. Because the
I'm
Celtics,
not.
they're not.
I'm telling you, they're choking. Like this
Yeah.
isn't. This is not about the Knicks. I'm sorry, it's not about the Knicks.
Jalen Brunson making huge shots in the fourth quarter is not about the
Sure,
Knicks.
that they're making the open shots late, but it
Bridges
shouldn't be
stealing
in
the
the game.
ball from Brown.
It
Bridges
shouldn't be a game,
blocking
Mike.
Tatum's
It shouldn't
pass
be
in
a
the last
fucking
possession.
game. You watching this and you think the Knicks should be in the game?
Yeah, because the Celtics are choking all over themselves.
Exactly, because the Celtics are choking.
And the Knicks aren't. The Knicks are going down 20 and they're fighting back, and that's impressive.
Sure. Yeah.
How's that not impressive? They're the only team in NBA history to go on the road and win back-to-back games in the playoffs down 20.
It's
Only
impressive.
team.
It's impressive what they've done in the fourth. It should never have happened.
Yeah.
It should never have happened.
And it's
The
gonna
Knicks,
it's
the
gonna
Knicks,
bring up.
it's last night was the worst offensive game of the season for the New York Knicks.
And it was the worst offensive game for the Celtics in 2 seasons.
No, it was the second worst.
Second
Game,
worst.
they didn't play any of the starters versus the Magic, so that doesn't really
Oh,
count.
oh,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, that doesn't even really count. But that was, I mean, just goes to show like how much of a choke this is. Points per
Yeah,
possession. It was
I'm
the worst
disappointed, man.
offensive
Like,
game of the season for the Knicks.
yeah, and like you got to think too. The window is small in the NBA because of the way
Oh,
this
sure.
is structured.
This is the window.
And like there are serious changes coming. The way Missoula is coached, I don't know. Like this serious change is coming, and Jim, the narrative's going to change around this team too, because a lot of people around the league said, they didn't see a lot of challenges last year in the postseason, and prior to last year's postseason, losses like this,
Yeah. Well,
stars not showing up in big moments was It's kind of the narrative around the Celtics, and it is pretty amazing to think about the amount of times they have blown big leads in the postseason. Um, some of them they've come out on top, but they felt lucky. Game 7 in Miami when Jimmy Butler takes the three instead of going to the hoop to win that game. Game 6 in Miami where Derek White bails them out. 2 games they were up big in the fourth quarter and just like blew it. You think back to Game 4 at home against Golden State in the NBA Finals that turned the season around. Um, they just get it's
Yeah.
back. Like they're just getting tight, and like Tatum made that commercial calling Knicks jokers, and man, you it's gross. They just look. And like I know that there are Celtics fans that are saying we still get the talent to come back, and our road record is what it is. But I don't know how you can watch these 2 games and think this team can win a championship or even get out of this series. And
Yeah.
I also wanna know like what is the deal with Kristaps Porzingis? Like you have him come off the bench, you don't start him, you don't play him in the fourth quarter. Like there doesn't seem like there's a plan for him. I
Well,
don't know. The coaching has been wild to me.
he talked after the game, and
Yeah, I saw. He feels bad. He's not right.
he says like his energy just disappears.
So he probably shouldn't play.
Uh, well, I don't know. What he gave them, even if that's just a few minutes he can give, was valuable last night. He played in the minutes he played, he was good, so it's worth it. If that's all he has. But yeah, no, that's disappointing.
I
I
mean,
don't.
this.
But he's not
Oh
the. That's not the reason they lost.
no, it reminds me of these Miami series where we're
Yep.
gonna leave this series and it's like you really telling me that Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson are all playing Jalen Brown and fucking Jason Tatum.
Yeah, I know.
Like, are you serious, Tatum? Right now?
I
I
know.
mean,
And they were doing exactly what they wanted to do all game, where it was like they were playing Towns with the smaller guy. The Knicks were going to it, playing slow, and it was the effective strategy that they wanted. And all of a sudden, it just everything disappeared. And even Holiday, that foul at the end,
oh, it's horrible.
like how you can't foul there. You just cannot foul there.
Yeah, and I wish that his coach didn't put him in that position where we had to be in the fucking
Well, yeah, there's that. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, Jim, it sucks. It sucks.
Well, put
It
me in.
is.
And the thing is, like, you could play well in game 3, and the Knicks haven't had, the Knicks could play really well too. And all of a sudden, it's a close game in the fourth quarter again. Like, you could get it together, like, because that's the way series goes, right? Like, the Knicks haven't played, I don't think the Knicks have played that great. They probably have a level they can go up. So it's like the margin of error is so small. I don't think it's over. I think it's mostly over. I feel like that what's that movie? Billy Crystal, Princess of the Bride. He's not dead. He's mostly dead. You remember that scene? And he's like
Yeah.
pumping the life. I think that's what we got right now. It's not over, but it's mostly over. Like they obviously have to win both games in New York. Um,
Oh well, yeah.
you
I
know,
mean, 2 years ago against Miami, they went into that game 3 after these kind of losses at home, and they got fucking smoked, and it looked like they quit. We'll
and then
see how this
they
team's
didn't. Yeah.
yeah, see how this team responds in this game 3 with the same coach. Um, I'm really concerned that game 3 is going to be a blowout and a bloodbath.
I'd be surprised if that happens, but I guess anything's possible right now. I'd be surprised if that happens. You
3:30 game too. Weird time.
yeah, it is
At
weird
least we
time.
don't have to waste our night watching the Celtics brick 3-pointers in the fourth quarter. So that'll be good.
I'm going to be the optimist. I'm going to say they're going to win because what
Hey,
the
you
hell?
do it, Jim.
I'm going to say they're going to win. They're going to win the game. They have been much better on the road. They were great on the road this year. They've been historically great on the road over the last going back 4 playoffs, even the ones that we talked about where there's similarities between this team. And most of their problems historically with leads have happened at home.
Yep.
And most of their shooting problems in the playoffs for some weird reason have happened at home. They seem to go on the road, and I don't know if the pressure's off or whatever it is, but they play better. So
Yeah, the Knicks are the same way. The Knicks seem to this iteration of the Knicks, they lose a lot of home playoff games and win a lot of road ones. These last 3 years, that's kind of how they operated.
yeah, I mean the Celtics over the last two playoffs, they've only lost two road playoff games. And one of them was with Jason Tatum not playing. So no, he did play. Actually, I take that back. So they've lost two playoff games, but I don't know. It's just amazing. To have the same thing happen back to back games. Um, first time in NBA history, a team shot under 25% or below at two straight games. Like it's maddening. I
It
don't know.
is.
I don't know what they were on open threes last night. It felt like I can't even really remember them hitting any outside of Derek White early in the game. Um,
Yeah. Well, they hit 10 threes. They went, what, 10 for 40? Um, oh, yeah, Jim.
those three misses in the fourth quarter in a row, where it was White on the left foul line extended, then Tatum in the corner, and then Brown got free for a top of the key. Those are practice shot threes.
But I wanted Brown to take that to the hoop
Yeah,
so
sure.
bad.
I mean, Tatum, I guess, could have taken his, but
Because it's just, they're so tight. They're so
yeah.
tight. At that point, it's not about the right shot. Just go to the hoop and try to get to the
And then they
line.
missed layups down the stretch too.
Yeah.
It was like it was just so
Um,
bad. It
and it
was
wasn't just
bad.
shooting. They had 17 turnovers.
No,
17.
and there were times where they got 17 turnovers. We'll give Knicks credit there. They had times where Tatum got to the foul line extended and he missed that. I mean, I go back to game one, he airballed one
He airballed one.
with Brunson on him. With Brunson on him. A guy
Yeah,
that
he's been terrible.
can't get to his elbow when he
I got
goes
a
to the
guy
shot.
at work who's been saying for years Tatum's not that good, and I've been arguing with him all the time, and now I got to listen to this guy like every day now. It's so fucking annoying.
Well, fortunately for him, his season's not over. So he has an opportunity to make up for this. And he better. This is going to be really hard to live down. Um,
Yeah, you got sports writers tweeting out there that Steve Kerr was right. He's taking a beating once again.
yeah. Oh no,
Yeah,
people are going to love doing this right now, going after him. So it's a matter of if he can respond. Like I think the other thing too, Mike. We talked about how they needed to protect the glass. They did. There were a
yeah, they
couple
did. They did a good
offensive
job
rebounds
rebounding.
late, but for the most part, they did a really good job on the glass. They protected their defensive glass. But
Yeah, guys from the Knicks hit big shots. I mean, Josh Hart was what 3 for 6 from three.
was he
Um,
really that?
it was either 2 for 5 or 3 from 6, and then Bridges took over the fourth
Bridges
quarter.
was awesome. Yeah.
11 points in the fourth
After
quarter.
after
That's
doing
his,
nothing, he was
he
awesome.
scored. He scored 11 points in the fourth quarter. That's as much as Tatum has scored. More than Tatum scored in the fourth quarter in the series.
Yeah. The Celtics, I think, had through the first 5 minutes 11 or 13. I think it was 11 points, and they finished with 17. Or maybe it was 13 points, and they finished with 17. Like that's a thing that's like it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And going back to Missoula, like all season, he's played Tatum through the fourth quarter in big games.
Not last night.
Why aren't we?
Why didn't he call a timeout?
And it felt like the rhythm was completely gone at that point.
Why didn't he use a timeout? Why did he lose his timeout? Why didn't he use a
He
timeout before the 3 minute mark when this run was going on? He just didn't. He didn't do anything to help them.
no. There was one point the lineup was Pritchard, Brown, Holiday, I think Cornette,
Yeah,
and
Cornette.
Horford.
Something
Like
like that. Yeah.
how is that a fourth quarter lineup? I know like you're limited, but how is that your fourth quarter lineup? You got to
I don't know.
guys just got to play through it. They can't come out. You got to protect that lead.
Why not try to slow the game down and post up Tatum at the free throw line or something? Why not try pick and roll at the top of the key with Tatum and Derek White, your best two point fourth quarter players? Why not try Tatum and Cornette out there in the fourth quarter together to like statistically the best duo in the league. Why not try these things when your team is tight, when your team can't shoot? Like it's like he's too analytically driven, and it's obvious where they're not trying other things in these moments.
And does he have?
You can't just trust what you've always done when you're watching your team puke all over themselves.
No.
You have to step in as a coach and say, hey, guys, we're going to try something different. We're going to get Tatum the ball here, go to the basket. I want you guys to attack the hoop. Like nothing. And then that last possession, you had a chance to call a timeout there when Tatum was dribbling the ball and it looked like
How
he
much
wasn't
time
going.
did they have when they got the ball?
When he was at the top of the key and he had that wild crossover that looked like a carry that went way up here. 7 seconds left. That's when I would have called the timeout.
So they got the ball with what?
12.
12. So if you call a timeout right away, you can draw up a quick play to get a shot off 3-4 seconds.
Right.
And then worst case scenario, you're down 3.
You get the ball back.
Yeah, no timeouts though. That's a difficult part.
Or you draw up a play
Yeah.
to help your team. He didn't do it in game 2 either. He waited till 3 seconds left in the game where that possession was going nowhere.
Well, I'm
Nowhere.
surprised on the timeout before. Like I can understand in my mind why you don't call a timeout. Like you say, okay, if they score here, we want to go as fast as possible. We're going to go back to the same play, but we're going to run a variation off this. And then if it's not there, I'm going to call timeout.
Yeah,
like I can understand that because if you miss, and then they hit their free throws, you're down 3, you still have 1 timeout. So you get the ball back at half court, even if there's 4 seconds left. So like I can understand like the thinking. What I don't get is that when it was obvious that nothing was there, and like that there was no variation off that.
Bad, man.
You know?
It was bad.
Like you had 3 guys converge onto Tatum.
Yep. It was bad. I don't think he's helping them right now. I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to this team, Jim.
God, 7 minutes out of 48, you didn't score. I mean, that's what?
They hit a couple of free throws, but
Is that like 20%? Oh, you didn't score a field goal. What's that, like 20%?
yeah, it's a big part of the game. And during that run, the Knicks scored 13 straight points.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You can't make this shit up.
No, you can't.
Yeah, so you really think they're going to win game 3?
Yeah, I do. I think they'll win. I mean, they haven't lost 3 in a row in 2 seasons, 2+ seasons since that Miami series. They've been better on the road, and like if there's any DNA of that championship left, if there's any DNA left in this team, you come back and you win. And you have some pride, and you understand that like they should sit there and think, okay, we're down 0-2. We're up 20 in both games, up 16 in the fourth. Like there's no reason this should have happened. And if we get our shit together, we can still win the series. Like if we can refocus, we can still. And that's the thing. Like I don't think they're going to win the series, but if they did win game 3, you know, there's a really good shot that they could come back in this. There really is, because I mean it's not close in terms of just the level of talent between the 2 teams. That's not fair. The level of talent on the Knicks is really good. The matchup here isn't close. This is a bad matchup for the Knicks, and the Celtics aren't taking advantage of it. So hey, you're right. Credit the Knicks. There's a DNA with that team that's really good, especially late in games, and there's confidence and there's a swagger that the Celtics don't have, and they need to try to refine it, or this thing's going to be over. And you're not. This isn't like Miami a couple of years ago. I think if you get down 3-0, the most this thing would go is 6
or 5.
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting punked by Karl Anthony Towns. Think about that.
Well, I'm okay with what happened the first 3 quarters. That should be a strategy again, like to cover him with the smaller guy and have the Knicks settle for going to him. That works. I think it actually hurts the Knicks offense. It slows them down, even though he'll, you look at his numbers and you say they're good. Like that's okay. Like I really would not change that. That's not the problem. Like you're going 3 quarters where Brunson, Anunoby, and Bridges really aren't factors, on the offensive end because they're just trying to take advantage of that Towns matchup. And I think that's a good thing, but it all falls apart for you in the fourth.
Yeah.
It all falls apart for you in the fourth. And that's a maddening part. I don't know, Mike.
Yeah, nothing more to talk about. They're choking. So we'll see what happens on Saturday. I don't feel good about it though. I think this could be a sweep.
Can you imagine all year round long we were saying the Cavs Celtics, and it looks like it's going to be the Pacers Knicks?
It'd be a good series.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know how much I'd watch.
I don't either. I'll tell you what, the Celtics get out of this. I don't have a lot of faith that they're going to beat those two teams.
We say this today, but if they came back and they won 4 straight, or they win 4 of the next 5 to win the series, which is what they have to do now, they got to win 4 or 5 to win the series.
Yeah.
You might feel differently.
No team in NBA history that started off a series 0-2 at home in the playoffs have won an NBA Finals. Celtics would have to be the first team to do it.
Oh, there you go. Well, the mission now is just to get through this round.
Yeah.
Worry about that later. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Talk about it later. Do you see Steph Curry got hurt? What a crazy, right?
Yeah, and the Thunder responded.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what you're supposed to do.
It is. All right.
All right.
I'll talk to you.
Yeah.